right, everybody, welcome to Knox Makers, to Tuesday. That's Show and Share. Today is Show and Share number 757, we calculated. And so welcome. We've been doing this a long time. Every Tuesday we gather together to show off projects we're working on, things we're working on, things we're stuck on, the successes and failures. We like to see it all. We have a sign-up list that people have signed up as they came in, so we're going to go ahead and get started on that. The first up is Bill, who's going to show wood spirit carving.
I told Russell that I was going to pick on him tonight. And part of what this is oftentimes as we get up here, we start doing our show and share. And one of the prevailing questions is, how long did it take?
How long did it take?
Okay, so I did a wood carving. And before I could start the wood carving, I had to go find the wood. So it's a 2-hour drive to the trailhead. Then you start on the trailhead and you see all these sites. And there's a big sign that says you're going to be on this trail. According to all trails, this hike was only 5 miles. They lied. We ended up with 7 3/4 miles. And then we had some stairs, and more stairs, and yet more stairs. And then we got to a waterfall, so you had to walk around, go underneath, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then it talks about the rock shelter. Oh, and then we found an arch, which we got to go through the arch. Yay! And we saw more arches. And that's just me. Who cares? And then you got to go through the little arch. I didn't really have to go through that arch, but you know, when your mindset is of a 12-year-old, you're going to go through the arch. So now when we get down here, that's the grandson. I found wood while we were hiking. So there it is there. PPE, I gotta have PPE. So then that's just a little sanding flap sander and to kind of get the crud off the outside edge. Then I mounted it to a block of wood which I was able to clamp into a vise. And then it's clamped in. And you can see the carving chisels up in the back. So this is a pine knot, so it's really dense and very hard. And so you can't just hand tool stuff through it. So you use a mallet and a chisel and a gouge to pound through it. And this is kind of like getting the crap off the outside and beginning with the nose. You can kind of sort of see the nose starting right there in the center. Kind of defining the nose. And this actually has the eye socket. So that's the beginning of the eye sockets there. A little deeper. Now we're starting to mustache in the beard, getting that kind of flowing. And it continues on. Then so this is with the eyes done. This is with the first coat of the yucky finish, the smelly, nasty stuff. And then that's hanging on the wall. So this is a pine knot, and so the actual carving of this was 2.5-ish hours. But when you count the 2-hour car ride to the 2-hour car ride back, the 5 to 6 hour dealing with going through the hike, and then 20, 30 minutes of buffing and cleaning the crud off of it, it adds up. So I use a combination of a Watco wax and Danish oil for the first coat, and then the wood conditioner is the final coat that I put on it. We've got some out there if you want it, or we've taught the class a couple times. You can make your own. So we've got all that. Any other question? Go ahead.
So did you find this crawling through any of those arches, or like how far off the path do you have to go, or was it in the path?
It's along the path. So anyhow, what happens with pine knots? You got a pine tree growing, going, gone. It falls over. The trunk will start rotting. The trunk is softer than the knot. So the knot is where the branch comes into the tree. You've heard the expression hard as a knot. That's what it's talking about. Where the branches come out of the tree is really dense and super hard. So when the tree rots, the branches rot away, the trunk rots away, and then you go over and just kick out the knots, bang it on a tree, a lot of your crud falls off, and then you're left with this type of stuff here. And so I like using found wood. I'm cheap. It really looks nice. And pardon? 4 hours of gas. And then we ate food that we brought from home. But also, whenever you're coming home, you got to find the dive barbecue joints. The nastier they look on the outside usually means it's a better food on the inside. And so we look for the really, really nasty barbecue joints, and I love barbecue.
Did you select the wood for the flow of that, the way this thing turned out?
Okay, if you look up on the left-hand side up here, I've tried to use the natural flow of the wood to help with the hair. And in the same way down low here with the beard and the mustache, I tried to use the flow and the shape of the wood and the nature. The amount of debris that ended up at the end of this carving, sometimes I get a huge dustpan or two full of stuff that I throw away. This here was literally just a small handful of chips because it was mostly there to start with. It's real easy. Anybody can do this. I'm working towards teaching a class in this stuff. It's going to be a little bit, yeah, but we're getting closer. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. Next up is Aaron, who's going to show a cantilever barn drawing.
I don't know if this will fit over here, but I'll try. See if I can make it zoom out. Flip it around. It's way too big for this thing, so I'll just hold it up. Keep it under there? All right. So that's looks like as far out as it goes. I'll just move it around. Let's see. Doesn't really fit.
It's more dynamic. I think I've seen it.
So I'll hold it up too. So this is a pencil drawing of a cantilevered barn. So if you don't know what these are a unique type of barn to this area of Tennessee. So pretty much all of them are either in Sevier County or Blount County. And I like these just because they're a very unique part of this particular area in the Smoky Mountains. I just like the architectural style and everything of them, and the just kind of the history and some mystery about the cantilevered barn, because like their origin and everything. There's some it's not really well known how they came to be in this area, and then there's also some like local rumors about how the cantilevered barn came to be as a form of tax evasion, where they used to be taxed based on how much area was touching the ground. But based on what I've researched, it's unsubstantiated, but it makes a great story. So.
That's what we use in the Great Smoky Mountain area. That's what we tell them.
Yes.
Did you have inspiration, or was it from the pictures?
The inspiration, I guess, would just be some of the things I just explained, plus I like to go hiking and stuff, and you see this particular cantilevered barn that this is drawings based off of is in Cates Cove, if you haven't been there. Yeah.
There's one visible from the highway to town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
Did you take a picture of the barn, or did you draw it from
I had a few pictures from some different angles, and then, so the rendering I did is kind of an interpolation of a few different photographs, and, you know, I wanted to show some perspective, so, you know, to have, you know, a vanishing point kind of off to the side and give it some depth and things like that.
Did you use a ruler for the straight lines, or is it all freehand?
I did use like a grid to help with proportion initially. I didn't use any rulers other than for the grid. So it's all freehand except for that initial grid.
Is there a special advantage to using pencil?
I just, I like pencil. One, it's very forgiving. If you make a mistake, you can erase it. But it's just one of my favorite media to draw with pencil.
How long did it take you to draw it?
This took me probably about 20 hours all in. So, and some of that was going back and redoing stuff because I didn't like how it looked like 3 or 4 times. But all right, thank you.
Very nice, very nice. All right, up next is Eric with with easy window inserts.
So it's cold outside, and we don't want to be cold in the house. We don't necessarily want to be cold out of the house, but I've made when if you live in an older house and you still got single panes, it's a pain, right? So you want to be warm, so you built some inserts. Now I've built inserts with wooden frame before, but it's so much more difficult than what I finally figured out how to do here, which is pool noodles. Super easy. You don't have to have a lot of precision with this thing here. It's easier than the wood and it does a better job. So you get some pool noodles. In the winter, that's the hardest part of this project. There's one place you can get pool noodles in the winter in Knoxville. So you get your plexiglass, you cut it, it's very forgiving. You can be off by an inch in any direction because once you slice your pool noodles on the one side, you can adjust. And then you push them in the hole, which is the inside of your window, and then you're warm. So that's nice. Show you. There we go. So here, that's it. That's it in the window with the little corner pulled out, so you can zoom the camera. Okay, I see. So that is the noodle and the plexiglass. And how long does it take? If you measure correctly, 10 minutes a window. Honestly. It does not take 10 minutes a window if you do the, oh, and the other advantage of the pool noodles is that you can choose any color that your wife likes for each room. And if the wind blows really hard and knocks it out of the window, it doesn't break as much stuff because it's surrounded by pool noodles.
Where do you get pool noodles in January?
Ha ha! That'll cost you. There's a little pool supply store over in West Knoxville, over by where Toys R Us used to be. If you're old enough to remember where Toys R Us used to be, now you know where it is. Yes.
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a term for that.
There's a
It's
term.
called noodling it. They're very functional for many.
Many things. Oh, yes. Thank you.
All right. Next up is Rex with functional Legos.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Hello, hello. So, when I first joined, there's something I've been wanting to make for so long, but it's not anything that you need the tools here to make. But I was like, it's something I wanted to make with Legos. Thank you. Whoa. So, it's funny because I said to one of the members, I need some Legos. Do we have any Legos in the hobby area? And she said to herself, I don't think she's going to make it. Like, I was a trial member then, and she was like, why does she want to make things out of Legos? This is really strange. Anyway, this is the thing that I always wanted to make. I'll see what it looks like under here first. Oh, it doesn't look like. Zoom out. Zoom out, zoom out. It looks like it. Oh. Okay, so this is what it looks like from the side. This is what it looks like from the top. So basically, I had one of these that was made probably in China or something, but obviously wasn't made out of Legos. Can anyone guess what this functional object is for? Raise your hand. Or just shout it out. Just shout it out. No, that's not it, but it could be. Any more ideas? It is a bit heavy. Maybe I could try that later. No, that's not the. Oh, you're so close. That's pretty close. 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 Any more guesses? It is a plate holder. It is a fancy plate holder, and I had one that I purchased at like a store that was made of like wire or something, and I always wanted to make one out of Legos. So I bought these Legos at a thrift store in a big bag, and I glued them together with super glue. And then these little rods right here, I don't know if you can see them, there's like rods. Those are from the hobby. They're a donation probably to the hobby area. So anyway, I love this thing, and thank you. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Very cool. All right, next up is Wes with outdoor rustic sign.
Hello, everybody. All right, let's get this situated. So a few months back, a friend of mine came to me and said, "Hey, I've got this piece of wood in my barn. I want to put it over here. You know, as people are driving in through the driveway, it's going to say Trinity Ranch, which is the name of his ranch, and then on the way out, it's going to say y'all come back." And so he had this piece of wood in his barn, and this measured about, oh man, there's a terrible lighting for the picture. Measured about 10 feet long by 15 inches by about an inch thick or inch in width. You can see all the dark spots in there are pretty much wood rot. Some of it actually went all the way through, and I looked at it and I said to myself, there's no way I'm going to be able to make a sign out of this thing. It's going to be really, really tough. So I took it home, cut off the bottom 2 feet of it, and was able to put some finish on it and showed it to him and said, hey, this is what it's going to look like. Let's go for it. There's a better picture of it in there. So what he wanted was rustic letters, right? The letters are all rusted and stuff like that. And so I found a cowboy type theme font, and then used that. Now these are cut out of a 1/4-inch steel from a plasma cutter, plasma CNC. And honestly, that was the hardest thing to do, was finding somebody who was willing to take this job and do it for me so that way I can get these letters cut out. That took probably 8 weeks or so just to get that, find the person, thanks to Bob, find the person, cold call another person who he knew through a contact, and then contact this guy and convince him. And he's actually a former maker here, so he was willing to cut this out. So the next step was to add the rust to it. Now, obviously, the rust is going to take a very, very long time, but you can speed up that process by using some homemade chemicals. And so I got that started. The key to it that I found was using the sun, right? So put it out in the sun, and it will start to rust. And then building layers and layers and layers on it. Some of this stuff right here looks pretty cool on it, but as you go through, it really starts to deepen in there as you continue to add more and more layers on it. All right, you can kind of just see as as I'm working on stuff like that, and getting them all added in there. All right, so this is pretty much the final look for the letters, which turned out really nice. I put some polyacrylic spray on it to hold in the rust, believe it or not. But that was a nice little addition to it. All right, so this is what the sign, or I'm sorry, what the board looks like when it's wet with the finish that I used. I used a UV resistant finish that lasts about 3 to 5 years. It turned out really, 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 really nice, as you'll see here in a minute. I also sanded it just before I put the finish on, just to kind of get that top layer of dirt and gunk and grime and all that kind of stuff off of it. This is what it looks like from the front side, all dried with the finish on it. We had to add posts to the area. As you saw, there was no posts or anything like that in there, so we used I'm showing stuff you can't see. Some of that foam stuff. There's foam chemical mix. You pour it in a hole and put your post in and hold it nice and level, and leave it up there for 48 hours, and then you can cut it off. All right, so I also added spacers in here as well too. That added a depth to it, which is nice, and those are just nails, right? So, oops, can't see what I'm doing here. Come on, there we go. So aluminum, I used stainless steel spacers. That was one thing I'm going to change next time, is not use those, because they cost about 45 cents a piece, and I had to get 75 of them. I wish I used like ABS, like a 3D printed spacer, which I'm probably going to use next time. Believe it or not, it was about $45 for the spacers, which I ended up using. Some of the spots were more than the 3/4 inch that I used, and so I had to build some spacers from the 3D printer. Okay, that's what it says on the back. All right, show you what the final product looks like right there. Yeah, super, super nice. We ended up, thank you. We ended up burning the wood. We had a torch, and so we spent about 15-20 minutes burning the wood that day when we did it. And then that's what it looks like on the back. So y'all come back. So as this, friends and family are leaving and stuff like that, it's, a nice little goodbye. So any questions? Yes, Larry.
Interesting choice, the foam versus concrete for the boat.
I've never used concrete before.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen foam. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a mess, as you can see from the other picture, just how messy it is, how much it foams out, so then you got to cut it out. I used this once for a water garden hose in my backyard. I didn't wait the 48 hours, and so I used a saw to cut it off while it was still wet on the inside, and gummed up the saw and ruined it. So, yeah, which sucks, but it's a Home Depot saw, so I wasn't worried. But yeah, it's a pain to get it off. We had to use a shovel and stuff like that, and we're banging things, and there's wood or foam and stuff like that. Yes.
So how does the foam come?
So it comes in a two-part mixer. You roll it and break the seal on it, shake it up, and then cut the opening and just pour it in. And within 3 minutes, you've got this massive, foam sticking out all over the place.
Are you happy with how steady it is?
Yeah, I am. Yes.
So did you rust the letters yourself?
I did.
How did you do that?
Hydrogen peroxide, salt, and vinegar,
So
white vinegar.
you mixed it together?
Yep.
And poured it on the metal?
Yeah, I just used Google to tell me, the mixtures and stuff like that. And
Great.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, it turned out well. Like I said, spray it on and then leave it in the sun. And then sometimes I would wipe it off, and I'm like, oh, it came right off. So I spent 4 or 5 days, I think, just constantly spraying this stuff and really trying to get it down in there. And then once it was in there and it was set, then I just put the poly on it, and it was fine.
You know the question.
So I started in November with it. If you want to know hours, I'd probably say about 6 hours total. It was about an hour, I think, for the letters to go on. That was another hard part, right? Was getting the letters positioned, because the board is wavy all over the place. I used a laser level to try to line them up, but even then, you're hammering them in, and then the letter goes. But what I can't, got okay with was that it wasn't going to be laser level perfect, right? I mean, this is kind of a sign that's going to be rustic and handmade, and so you're going to not have it even, maybe a 1/4 inch off and stuff like that. But that's the vibe that you're kind of going for it. So, yes.
So what's the Trinity Ranch?
So there's 3 of them that live there at the house, and then state of Tennessee's got the 3 stars. So Trinity. Cool. All right. Thank you.
Very cool. We'll continue on. We got quite a few signed up. So next is Sue with a T-shirt.
T-shirt. Yeah, trying to keep it simple this time. So, over in Fiber Arts, we have the sublimation area, and you can print things on your T-shirts, except if they are 100% cotton or dark colors. And my grandson likes 100% cotton T-shirts. So what I did is I found some heat transfer vinyl that is sublimation ready to print on this white, very white T-shirt. So I started off with the sublimation with the heat transfer vinyl. And I don't know if Amy's here tonight, but she's taught the sticker class a couple of times, and that teaches you how to only cut part of it. Well, I think you had said if you cut it right the first time, it doesn't take very long. I was here a while trying to get it to cut right. When I finally got that done, it wasn't a problem to feed my picture to the printer and get that done. Today, I played around with the press, acclimated myself to the press, so it probably took another 2 hours to get it done. But I'm really happy with the results. My grandson is very much into number blocks. Any of you who have a toddler probably know number blocks. But I know when I left here with the printed sublimation paper, the ink was very dull in colors, and I thought, at this point, I don't care. But it came out really bright, so I'm pleased. And the vinyl isn't too stiff. I'll have it over in Fiber Arts later if you want to come take a look at it. I also wanted to, if I can plug a class, next week for crafting night, we'll be making flowers out of cloth. So if you'd like to try your skill at that, come on by. And then I'd also like to send out a request for help. Every year we have the Dogwood Festival, and we have a class. So this year, we're going to be doing macrame keychains. And for that, we need beads. The beads can be wood, they can be 3D printed, they can be paper. I did some with thread the other day. The choice is yours. We just welcome beads to put on some macrame cord. Yes? The hole in them needs to be bigger than a pony bead, and I meant to bring a bamboo skewer to give people an idea of that size, but I forgot to grab that. So at least I remembered the t-shirt, so that's good. And my head. That's it.
Next up is Margaret with Best Blocks on the Block.
Hey, can y'all hear me? So most importantly, I'm really just doing this because I want to brag that I'm having a grandbaby. No, I made these for my grandbaby that's coming, my first, in May. So, and his name's going to be Jace. So I made these blocks with his name, and I will see if I can. So this. Some of them are made out of maple, and some of them are made out of walnut. So this is the maple, and so it's got the name of the animal that's on the other side, and then it's got letters and numbers. And so, of course, I cut the blocks, use the router to route to make it a soft edge, and then I'd like to say that I did all the work on these, but my son helped me, Charlie. So, because I am not very good with the laser cutter, but these are all laser cut in. We downloaded different pictures and came up with all the letters and words, and that's pretty much it. So, any questions?
How long did it take you, Margaret?
Probably about 25 hours from everything. I mean, you know, a lot of it was the computer work. On the computer, you know, getting all these, because, you know, 4 sides of all these and doing all that took a little bit of a effort, so. All right, any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a favorite block?
Do I have a favorite block? That is a really good question. I really like these two. I think I like the whale and the elephant.
Definitely don't like that one.
They got to be prepared for being thrown, you know. So I really like these two. The two little, I don't know, the elephant and the whale for some reason. But anyway, any other questions?
Was it easy to line up the images on your blocks?
It wasn't too bad because I had a son that's really smart. But, you know, basically once you figured it out, and, you know, we had to make 2-inch things on the computer to where those would fit in there, and then we put them all in the same spot on the laser and had it so that they all just would do, you know, the same. And we practiced on all of them, but just make sure they were right. So that also took a lot of.
Which laser did you use?
The one on the left. Yeah, the Moonraker. All right. Any other questions? We'll see if I can get back here without dropping these blocks. Thank you all.
Finally, we got all the way through there before we got to a laser one. All right. Next up is Russell with a presentation of Lamp Challenge winner prize.
How long did it take? Yeah. Is anybody here that wasn't here last week? Oh, wow, we got quite a few. Okay, I will show you this real quick. The time before last when we had market, we had a Lamp Makers Challenge, and the winner was our very own Joe, who made a giant metal lightning bug. If you haven't seen it, go back into the metalworking area and take it and check it out, because it's beautiful. The prize is a lamp. So since some of you haven't seen it and weren't here last week, I will show it to you. This is it. It has fire in the front, and it also lights up, or we'll do both. So there you have it. The answer to the question is a year and a half. Enjoy.
Thank you, Russell.
My pleasure, sir.
Now I got questions too. What, this contraption here, where did you find this and what is it? I mean, like, I think
That is an antique blowtorch, which was actually gasoline fired. They used gasoline in those things, and that is the precursor to our modern day torches. Yeah, hope you enjoy.
I think I can rob a bank with this thing.
Yeah, yeah, you could.
Please don't.
All right. Next up is Karen with stained glass grape jellyfish.
Okay, well, first you can see the finished product. So, this is my second ever stained glass project. So, this can either show you, how much progress you can, make with stained glass, or it can show you how I jump into things without thinking about how long they're going to take and how complicated they are. Or, it can show you how bad at soldering I am. But I am assured that the more I practice, the better I'll get. And so I think that's kind of like the main thing that I am happy about with this piece is that, I practiced, I made with Ashley and crew at Arts and Crafts. They said, let's try out stained glass together. So I made, a very easy straight lines and everything kind of thing. And then I was like, let's go crazy. So I drew a picture of how I wanted it to look like, and then made a copy, cut out the pieces, and then those pieces were the templates. So, and then, there's all the tendril bumps, and I was like, okay, well, I can just cut those out on the glass saw. So next time, I think I will try to avoid using the glass saw. It and me are not friends. There's almost all the pieces foiled, which is the next step in making stained glass. And you can see that, like, my pieces are not all even and fitting together at this point. And I could have spent a lot more time trying to get everything lined up, but I was like, the solder can probably fix that, right? And also, this is supposed to be for a gift swap that's supposed to be sent out February 28th, so I didn't have time. So, yeah, hopefully the recipient will like it, and hopefully they will be able to, like, maybe put it against their window so that the light can come through it, because it can't really be hung. I am scared because it is very heavy, because it has a lot of solder in it. So, all right, any questions? Yeah. Yes, I am not the smart one who wears the gloves whenever working with glass, so it got me. But I'm all cut up all the time anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, thank you.
All right, now we're to our last one, which is in all caps. It says, "No Stitch Leather Projects" by Derek.
Hey yo, I'm Derek. I am a fairly new maker, and my 2026 new craft that I'm playing with is leatherworking. And one of the things I needed to learn with leatherworking is going to be how to use rivets and snaps. And luckily here at Knox Makers, we have these wonderful things called dies that just do very simply cut the leather for you. So you can very easily then make some projects. So one of them is going to be glass cases. And card holders. And a key protector. And cute little mini tiny handbags. Any questions? Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, so, right, you can see here is the cut, and I can even just take this apart to show you how that just cuts out the leather like this. Any other questions?
How do you use the die? Do you place it on the leather and hammer it, or?
So we have a press, so the leather goes on with the cutter on top and a cutting surface underneath, and then you just pull it down. It cuts out very simply.
Are the dies labeled so you know what it is that it makes, so that it's easy to use if you don't know what you're doing?
They're very easy to use if you don't know what you're doing, but you may have to guess. For example, with this one, it took me a while to figure out what is this supposed to be and do. But then I figured it out eventually. Well, if no one's going to ask, I'll say it took me about an hour to do the cutting of the leather. And about an hour to figure out how to use, particularly the rivet or grommet press. But each individual one of these things only takes about 5 minutes. And so I'd like to invite anyone that would like to make any of these things at all to come see me in leatherworking after this, and in about 5 minutes you could have any of these made yourself by your own hands.
That sounds like it would be a great Tuesday night craft, don't you all think? Yeah. All right. So, for announcements, we have a ton of classes that are sold out. Sorry. But we do have a few that are available. Let's start with tonight. Tonight, immediately after show and share, or maybe a few minutes after show and share, we're going to do an overview of MicroPython on the Raspberry Pi Pico. I think Rob's going to help us do that. And so we'll just take a little break after show and share. And then if you are interested in that, come back into the classroom and we'll do that. It's in the classroom, right? We'll do it right here. All right. Sold out, oversold. On Friday, there's a Learn to Crochet class. It had tickets left last I looked. I think Amy is doing that. I don't know if she's here or not. Yeah. Amy's going to do it. And then there are tickets left on that. That's this Friday. Next Wednesday is a Woodworking 102. That's wood turning. There were a few tickets left for that one. Those usually sell out pretty fast too. And then next Saturday is cooperative multitasking and microcontrollers. Ray's going to do that. There were some tickets left. And then a Bluebird house built. Bill Cressy's going to do that one. And there are tickets available to that one. And then there's also Quilty Pleasures, which is a social event, right? And so those tickets do not sell out, so you can go to that one, right? Can you all believe we've had 757 show and shares? Yeah. I think we calculated that number 1,000 is about 4 years from now or something, so we should throw a big party for that one, don't you all think? All right, with that, that's the conclusion of show and share 757.